Good evening, members and guests. I'm Bob Flynn, Chairman of the Board of Directors of Members Heritage Credit Union, and I call the 60th Annual Membership Meeting of Members Heritage Credit Union to order. I want to welcome you to our 60th Annual Meeting. I know it's hard to believe we've been in business 60 years, but because of the COVID-19 pandemic, it is different than any of our other previous meetings. We had originally planned to celebrate our 60th anniversary, but due to the virus, we had to change our plans. We are glad that you chose to join us electronically. At this time, I'd like to introduce the Board of Directors. Our Vice Chairman is Jim Allen. Our Treasurer is Les Burton. Our Secretary is Mike Proctor. Our Director is Mike Harding. Associate Director is Michelle Thomas. It's an honor for me to serve as the chairman of this board. They are knowledgeable, have diverse backgrounds, and are very dedicated to doing what is the best for the member and the staff. We have a position, it's an honorary position, by the name of Director Emeritus, and you're appointed to that position by the board. You have to have served on the board at least 10 years to be eligible. We have 5 directors that have been appointed to this position to date. 3 of these, unfortunately, are deceased. They are Gail Bowe, Ken Tanner, Jesse Northcutt. We have 2 remaining. They are Dave Duncan and Joe Nichols. Jesse Northcutt passed away earlier this year. I want to pay tribute to him because he was one of the original founders of our credit union. Jesse was one of several IBM employees that met in the IBM plant cafeteria with the intent to start a credit union. After approval of the IBM management and filling the proper paperwork, our credit union was founded. Jesse was president of the credit union from 1962 to 63. In 1963, he became treasurer, a position he held until he retired from the board in 2010. He contributed greatly to the success of our credit union. He was a dedicated board member. He passed away earlier this year, as I stated before, and he is sorely missed. We have more than the required number for a quorum. And I'd like to say that the minutes of last year's annual meeting were voted on electronically and accepted as printed. At this time, I will give my report. It will be brief because most of the topics I feel that should be mentioned will be covered in the reports that follow. First, I will talk about 2019 and then 2020. They provide a real contrast in our country's financial environment. I feel that 2019 was a good year for Members Heritage Credit Union. Our loan portfolio continued to grow. Capital remained strong, with charge-offs and delinquencies remaining low. The exam performed jointly by the Kentucky Department of Financial Institutions and the National Credit Union Administration gave us high marks. The audit performed by GBQ was a clean audit. The good results from these 2 checks shows that we are operating in a very professional manner. This speaks highly of our staff. 2020 has been different due to the COVID-19 pandemic that began in March. It changed most everything. We managed to reopen our lobbies after closing them for a short time. by making some changes to our facilities and following the guidelines provided by health and medical groups and governmental mandates and guidance, we have been able to provide a safe environment for our members and staff. Our president, Pat Ferry, will provide more detailed information about our approach to COVID-19 in his report. I feel that we are ready to meet the many challenges that we will face the remainder of this year. Our goal remains to provide our members with a safe and sound place to meet their financial needs. Thank you. Now our Treasurer, Les Burton, will give his report.
Thanks, Bobby. Appreciate it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 60th annual meeting of the Members Heritage Credit Union, first ever virtual meeting. Again, I hope this finds everyone healthy and safe. And here are some highlights of the activity this credit union did in 2019. As of December the 31st, 2019, total assets were $387,096,646. We processed 9,358 loans totaling $102,971,015. Total loans outstanding were $271,018,602. We did an average of 43,233 over-the-counter transactions per month and 58,912 online transactions. We have 20,563 active share draft accounts and 46,046 active share accounts. We have 20,157 Visa debit card in circulation. Our members did 4,112,730 Visa debit card transactions in 2019. And again, the Treasurer's report will be online, or that you can look at full and detailed if you so desire. And if you have any questions, you can email us or get in touch with us, and we'll try to answer them. And now I'd like to turn it back over to Pat.
Thanks, Les, for that introduction. And I'd like to thank all the members who are watching this evening. I'm going to be brief and speak about 2019 and also about 2020. 2019, we had a really good year. Our loans increased $6.2 million. We controlled our delinquency charge-offs. We also had very good deposit growth with $19.1 million entrusted to us by our members. This led to an asset growth of $21.1 million, which is an all-time high in assets of over $387 million. The real good news is our capital reserves grew $2.95 million last year. And even with the asset growth, our capital ratio finished at 13.24%, which is an outstanding ratio, according to our financial experts. As you are aware, COVID-19 hit in March 2020, and this has changed the way that we conduct business. More e-services, our staff working remotely, and earlier, our drive-through was the only means of doing business with us besides e-services, with the lobbies closed. Now, we were able to open our lobbies back up in June, and we continue to follow guidelines from the CDC, the Kentucky Department of Health, along with the governor's executive orders to protect our members and employees with these lobbies opened. We are here to help our members and continue to help during this pandemic period. We have already approved 95 personal COVID relief loans to members in the amount of $182,000. We've granted 1,459 loan skips and deferments. We continue to help our members wherever possible. 2019 was a good year. 2020 has been challenging. But I want to assure the membership that we are financially sound and continue to meet our members' financial needs. We appreciate your continued loyalty and patience as we work through this pandemic period together. Next up, you'll hear from our Supervisory Committee Chair, Nathan McConaughey.
Thanks, Pat. The Supervisory Committee is a required committee for all credit unions. The committee is responsible for making or having prepared audits, examinations, and verifications so that the money of the members is kept safe at Members Heritage. The committee meets monthly to review reports from the internal auditor, as well as to monitor the progress of recommendations from both external auditors and examiners. The Supervisory Committee at Members Heritage is made up of myself, Nathan McConaughey, Norma Houston, Rick Garner, Mark Mefford, and Lonnie Johnson. The committee engaged GBQ partners to perform a financial audit for the credit union and Doreen Mayhew to provide IT-related audits for the credit union. The committee also relies on the work of our internal auditor to provide continuous monitoring of our processes. In addition to both internal and external audits, Members Heritage is overseen by the Kentucky Department of Financial Institutions, who reviews our operations at regular intervals. Based on the results of the internal audits, 2019 external audits, and exams performed by KDFI and NCUA, the committee believes the credit union is properly managed and the appropriate controls exist in order to protect the assets and its members. Thank you very much, and with that, I'll hand it over to Mike Harding and the Education Committee.
Thank you, Nathan, for the introduction. Welcome, everybody, to the virtual annual meeting for Members Heritage. I'm Mike Harding, the chairman of the Education Committee. Promoting the Members Heritage Credit Union brand to our potential and existing membership is critical to our credit union. In 2019, our brand was heard not only through our advertising, but also through our community involvement campaigns. These relationships help promote Members Heritage to an increased number of potential and current members than ever before. Some of the recognizable advertising campaigns that we had included putting up 2 billboards in Lexington, Hey Kentucky Roadshow appearances by Pat Ferry, and digital and TV advertising with LEX and Fox 56. Members Heritage also builds our brand by serving our community. Financial education programs in local elementary and high schools, sponsored a habitat build through LEX 18. Many of our employees and volunteers help build a home for a deserving family. Our membership and employees donated over 500 plus school supplies at local branches that were given back to school rallies in Lexington, Nicholasville, Winchester, and Mount Sterling. Our charity involvement, like United Way, Gateway, Homeless Coalition, Glean, Kentucky, CASA, Lexington, and many others, keep our members and volunteers and staff busy. As you can see, our brand isn't just our logo, products, and exceptional services. It's also our employees, members, volunteers, and community. Members Heritage truly believes in the philosophy of people helping people. As we look forward, we're excited to continue our efforts to propel our credit union and brand into the future. As always, we welcome your comments and take your suggestions very seriously. We are excited more than ever to see what next year holds and are here to serve you. Next, I'd like to introduce Lonnie Johnson, Chairman of the Nominating Committee.
Thank you, Mike. The nominating committee for the year was Chairman Lonnie Johnson, that's me, Connie Oliver, and Mike Harding. There were 2 board members whose terms were expiring this year, Jim Allen and Mike Proctor. Mr. Allen and Mr. Proctor submitted the required application to the nominating committee. No other applications were received. The nominating committee nominates Jim Allen and Mike Proctor to fill 2 vacancies for a 3-year term. Now I'll turn it back over to Bobby.
Thank you, Lonnie. Thank you for serving as the chairman of the nominating committee. And I want to thank also the other members of your committee for serving. Since the nominating committee has nominated only 2 candidates for the 2 vacant seats on the board of directors, in accordance with our bylaws, I declare Jim Allen and Mike Proctor elected directors by acclamation. This means that the directors will remain the same for the coming year. The board officers will be determined by the board at a later date. Before I close the meeting, I want to thank all of those who made reports. Also, I want to thank all of our volunteers for serving on the various committees that we have. Members Heritage is blessed to have knowledgeable and dedicated volunteers. Also, I want to thank all those that helped to make this meeting possible, especially Dennis Weiskircher and Ryan Mays and Ann Allison. I want to thank everyone for joining us online. Hope to see you at our annual meeting next year. Be safe. I declare this meeting adjourned.